Hello. That was a bit of a surprise for me tonight. Scott sent me a message today and said there's some new outros in there. Have a look, new intros and outros. So thank you, Scott. They were great. That was really good fun. A lot of those footages over the last 12 months, and especially from Tamworth. This is our first show since Tamworth. Unfortunately, I caught the Tamworth bug. I don't know what everybody had, but I definitely caught whatever it was because I still don't have a proper voice. So if I stop talking tonight, which is pretty rare, that's why. But we're going to have a chat to Larry because we caught up with him in Tamworth. And if you didn't get to see that show, make sure you go over onto YouTube and check it out because it's always a lot of fun. But it was a 10-minute quick chat. So we thought we'd have him on the show because he's got a lot planned for 2024. So we'll welcome him into the room. Hello.
Hello, Danny.
How strange. I'm used to, I think our interviews are usually just done in person, which is the opposite. So it's really strange to see you sitting through the camera.
It's a rough spot I'm sitting at the moment.
So. It's a beautiful spot. I saw the other side with that beautiful view. It looked lovely. It's actually we've been lucky where I am, but in Tassie today, they had like 100 mil of rain on the East Coast, and it's completely flooded. People's houses are flooded. It looked completely different on your end than it did here this afternoon.
Fair enough.
Yes. How have you been since Tamworth? Did you get the Tamworth bug?
Because I did get the Tamworth bug.
Tamworth bug. Yeah, you got it too, didn't you?
Yeah, I got it, and quite a few other singers got it as well. Yeah. And but I was very fortunate. Sort of 5 days later, everything was okay, and the first weekend after the Tamworth Festival, I was still able to hold a note to sing the Australian National Anthem at an event that I had to provide sound and co-announce at. So I was thankful of that. It was a little bit different than the previous bug I'd had that was similar, but it didn't quite go as heavy on my chest as what this one did. So yes. It was a little bit easier to get through. So.
Well, I touchwood haven't ever tested positive for COVID yet. But if it's anything like what I've had since Tamworth, I don't want it because it's been a long few weeks. I had students today and my voice did not cope. The poor things caught me coughing and spluttering. And I promise I'm not still sick. I'm just croaky. But are you feeling all better now?
Yeah, no, pretty good. I must be close to 100%. I still thought, even a few days ago, like voice felt a little bit like it was trying, it wasn't as clear as it possibly could be, but it seems like these last 48 hours is probably the best I've had. But I haven't stopped using my voice either. So, probably some vocal rest would have been good, but didn't happen.
No, I bet it would have been good. I know I haven't done a lot but rest and it's still not really working, but I don't feel as sick as I did a week ago. So it is slowly improving a little bit at a time, only a little bit. In Tamworth, we did touch a little bit about Tamworth Gold. You and I had a bit of a chat about what you've been doing. I know you've recently been overseas writing, touring, recording, getting ready really for this year. So what does 2024 have in store for you? What are you planning on? I know you've got a very soon single coming out.
Yes, I have a new single coming out in the latter part of March. March 22nd is the release date, and you can pre-save that. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the chat officially, but it's the first of the group of songs that I wrote while I was in Nashville. I actually went there specifically to songwrite. I was there for about 9 days. I literally flew in on the Tuesday after CMA Fest when everybody else left town. I was coming to town, and it was really good. My producer, Michael Flanders, obviously expat Aussie, he set up the songwriting dates, and I was able to write with some of the world's greatest songwriters. And it was just something special. It was neat to actually see their creative basis on how they start and go through the whole songwriting process, because each and every one of them have a different little way of doing things, and that was really neat as an outsider looking in. But, had a whole lot of fun. In 7 days I wrote 9 songs, and all very, very different.
very, yeah, you were saying that you had really different types. I like that because it's just different sides of you. But did you find with different people that certain styles worked better for you?
Yeah, I suppose there was the occasion there where I'd be playing the guitar and when working on the melody at the same time we wrote. Other times we just wrote the lyrics and then I went
Yes.
back in and worked up a melody for it later. But generally speaking, we all sort of clicked by bringing just a subject matter to the table, and then we brainstormed and went from there.
Told stories, those sorts of things to understand where those ideas have come from.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot from my own personal life and living, I guess.
Yes.
And there was one in particular song that I'd written most of the lyrics. I just had to tidy them up, and I needed a good melody for that one.
Yeah.
And the great family that I stayed with while I was in Nashville was about 30 minutes, I suppose, north at Gallatin, and it was Richie and Julie Scholl, and Richie's actually from Central Queensland, and Julie's from Victoria, and they're married and living there. He's actually part of the award-winning cover band. They do probably the most popular Eagles tribute band across America called Seven Bridges Road. But
Wow.
he's an Aussie, and I used to I met him a long time ago when he was just a young guy. He was a boilermaker by trade, and a heck of a guitar player and singer himself, and we were able to hang out there and work on a couple of songs, and that was one we jumped on straight away, and he picked up a melody for it, and this particular song called Fearless Warrior, and it's a little bit edgy for me. I don't know if I'll record it, but
Yeah, okay.
it's something that was it was in reference to a friend of mine, so we used her thoughts and gave her obviously a songwriting credit to it as well. We were able to be a semi-finalist in the TSA Awards with that
Yeah.
particular song, and which was pretty exciting. And it's basically a song talking about her battle with herself after being in one of those stalking circumstances, which is pretty
Gosh.
scary stuff. So I just basically
Yeah.
said to her, write down everything you've felt, write down something that you read that sums up what you've went through, and we'll go from there. And there was this one line where she said, I came back as a fearless warrior, and that was the real catchphrase. And it's a song that I think, if you could, pigeonhole it, I suppose I can hear a voice like a little bit gruff, lady voice, like a Bonnie Raitt type. Even Brooke McClymont would probably pull it off pretty well, I reckon, because she's got that deeper tone as a female voice, and I think it would be something very, very special. So you never know who we might be able to pitch that to in the future.
Exactly.
But that was just one of the songs that we wrote through the week.
Wow. How did you choose which ones to do first? Because
Well, that
they
was a
sound like
funny
they were all
thing.
really good songs.
Yeah, well, it was funny. The first official writing meeting I had was with a writer that's wrote a lot of Texas country hits over the last couple of years. His name's Scott Barrier, and he's wrote with quite a few Aussies as well on their visits and through the same connections as I made. But that was something that he said, well, he looked up my background and he saw that I was a cowboy and did a lot around rodeos. And he said, he said they talk about the rodeos and sort of, talk about the cowboy's heart. But he said in reference to it, he said nobody's ever wrote about the cowboy's hands. And that was the first song he and I wrote. We wrote actually two together, one at the start of the week and one at the end of the week, totally different. But this one was more on my background. And he said, well, the heart of a cowboy really is his hands, because that's what he lives and breathes with. That's what he does all the work with. That's what he rides with if he's in the rodeo circuits and stuff. It's the cowboy's hands. So that was the first song we sat down and wrote, and it's got a bit of a funky beat to it. So
that is incredible. I like that you've written such different styles, and even with people that you've wrote other styles with, you've still experimented with the next lot of releases. So, actually, while we're talking about it, tell us a bit about your upcoming single. Was that who did you write that one with? What one was that one? I'm just going to get up on the screen for you. There you
All
go.
right, that would have been, I think it was our second songwriting session, and
Yes.
it was with a lovely lady called Kirsty Manor, and her writing partner that he usually plays guitar and Kirsty's on a keyboard, and they had their regular writing session. And Kirsty's actually famous, in a sense, in my world anyway. She was the one of the writers to Blake Shelton's first number one hit, Austin.
Yeah, right.
And
Wow.
I walked in, met Bill and Kirsty, and they basically just threw it at me. They said, "Oh, what do you want to write about today?" And I said,
Wow.
"Well, obviously, I'm a cowboy and always have
Yeah.
been at heart. And but I said I never wrote a cowgirl song. And anyway, I said, okay, let's start writing a cowgirl song. And yeah, it just started off nicely, and hence the new single, "Only a Cowgirl," was born.
Yes. How exciting for that, though. I can't wait to actually get it out into the world. But as we are just saying before, if you do want to pre-save it, the link is here. Make sure that you jump over and press pre-save, because it comes out very soon. 22nd of March, isn't it? 22nd of March.
Yeah, so basically about a month away from today, and very, very exciting time. So and it's actually it's coincided with the only weekend I have off for a
Oh,
little while.
really? That
So,
has worked
I'll be
very
actually
well.
able to do full-on promos throughout the weekend that it's released, which is
You
actually
won't,
exciting.
yes, you won't be stressing. That's right. Scott has said he's watching us from work. Scott has done an amazing job. Make sure you have a look if you didn't see it at the beginning. He's changed our intro. He's changed our outro. It's so great. He's done so much work. So give him some love and go and check it out and let him know what you think of it. Think of both of them even.
Fresh in 2024.
Fresh in 2024. And this is the first official show. The rest were all in Tamworth, and I haven't had a voice for nearly 3 weeks. So that's as far as I've been able to go. Jonathan's popped in to say hello. Hi, Jonathan. How you have been over there? I know Jonathan didn't get to Tamworth this year. He was really excited. He's hoping to come next year. Is anybody there that's coming back to Tamworth? Tell us what your thoughts were, because I always have a ball and I always will go back. But and how many days did you end up doing in Tamworth?
Myself,
Yes.
basically, I guess it was 8 days. I was there from Saturday and
Wow.
left on the following Sunday. So
Oh,
I
God.
combined my music appointments and presentations to then announce, alongside of Justin Potter from Dubbo in New South Wales, the ABCRA National Finals Rodeo. So I did the 3 rounds when the
Wow.
champions were crowned on the Saturday night, which ironically, I guess this is a pretty cool tie-in story, I guess, going back to the current single that has done so well.
Right.
And the Saturday night, obviously, is the same night the Golden Guitars are on. And so singers are chasing golden guitars, and whereas cowboys and cowgirls are chasing gold buckles. And that was
Yes.
how the whole idea of Tamworth Gold was born. And so it was quite a privilege. It was my first time actually announcing the ABCRA National Finals, which was just another little feather in my cap that just really enjoyed, and got to sing going in before the first animal was bucked, or the first event was ran during the finals. And that was a whole lot of fun.
Wow, you've got so much going on. It's nice to see you out and about and enjoying it. Do you try and cross the two over a little bit, do a bit of singing at Rodeos, and try and sort of keep that side live for you?
Yeah, if I can. I mean, ideally, before a big announcing engagement, because it's such a high intensity type of announcing, then, it can wear on your voice if maybe a sound system's not set up right, you're pushing your voice too much. So if I can sing at the start of the show, then that's fine. And usually maybe even in the break, I can do, a couple of songs if they need like a little turnaround time. But generally speaking, when it comes to like band engagements or something, I try to separate those if I can. But like I've got a really cool gig. I'll be singing to the VIPs at the State of Origin PBR in June at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre. That will be kind of cool.
Yes.
But it's that sort of job that works out really well for me, because obviously I'm singing about the lifestyle that these cowboys and
Absolutely.
cowgirls in the
It's
rodeo
real.
world and bull riding world, that's what they're chasing. So yeah.
It's real. It's real to them, and you can sing about it because you understand it and know how hard it is for them to get anywhere. Jonathan has popped in to say a message. I can't read it though. I'm going on holidays today to see his amazing friend Sarah Louise on Saturday, then going back to the farm for the wildlife. That sounds like an amazing weekend, Jonathan. Jonathan is based in the UK and he really loves Australian music, so he's a great supporter here for everybody.
Good stuff.
Tell us, are you planning on trying to, obviously it's a bit early in the year, but going forward into the new year, you're going to keep that momentum up next year with your rollouts of singles, that sort of thing? Going to plan any more overseas trips? What are you going to do?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm looking at being in Las Vegas for the National Finals Rodeo in early December. So possibly there, because I'm looking at a few other opportunities, both in singing and announcing. So they have like a big convention center at the South Point Casino, and a lot of the announcers across America and Canada, they all set up a stand and they petition or at least show what they have and present themselves to try and get rodeos and shows for the next season. So I'll be looking at doing some stuff like that, and hopefully I can tie in the fact that I can do some singing engagements, possibly during the National Finals Rodeo in the early portion of the week, and then I'll return in time to have Christmas here at home before flying to New Zealand and doing some of the New Zealand rodeos and go back on a New Zealand singing tour like I've just came back from for the 3 weeks straight after Christmas before Tamworth started. So that works out pretty well for me.
Glad to have that one ticked off. Bit of a break.
Yes, for sure.
Bit of a break for you. So 2024, it sounds like it's going to be a huge year for you. Where's the best place for us to keep an eye on what you're doing? Have you got a preferred platform? I know we've got some banners with them all on it, but have you got one that you prefer?
Yeah, probably the Larry Cann Music Facebook page is the first and foremost and easier one to update pretty much straight away as things happen. But of course, yes, you can find me on X, which used to be Twitter, and on the YouTube channel, Larry Cann Music. And so it's all pretty much under Larry Cann Music. If you can just search those up, you'll find a few different platforms. And it's really appreciated, all the support. And of course, with any upcoming singles, if you pre-save, that helps the artists because it gives more interest to those background, basically creators of playlists. So if you've got enough interest in the background, all of a sudden it will help you get added to some of their big established playlists. Absolutely. And that's what's very important that people need to understand. It really does help.
It does. And we say it all the time on the show. The fans that watch are really great at keeping musicians in work. They'll buy their merch. They'll buy some things at their merch desk. They'll buy hats. They'll buy hoodies. They'll be anything just to support the artist.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about our fans is they don't do it because they need to. They do it because they love it. And I think that's why.
For sure.
That's what makes them so amazing. Definitely.
And I guess with this new single too, while I'll throw it out there, it's not a country pop song by any means. It's very much on the traditional side, and it's actually a traditional cowgirl waltz. So I'm gonna live life in 3/4 time for a little while, but it's so pretty. The imagery in the lyrics is something special, and you can find her in Fort Worth, knee deep in red dirt. And come drought or come rain, or somewhere in Dallas, stuck in an office, dreaming of riding the range. And it's the imagery that really makes this song pretty. And it really is a romantic look at a cowgirl's life and just dreaming of that open plains again. And trying to be a Lainey Wilson in the distance.
Yes, yeah. Which, oh my goodness, they're doing so well, aren't they? Jonathan just said that he's going to hope for 26 for Tamworth because he's got a lot of things to do this year. Well, that's a good idea, and you're not rushed. Then you can enjoy it. Thank you, Jonathan. Jonathan has got a lot of our merch. He's been wonderful with his support. It's lovely to see. I love seeing everyone's hats on them and signed and all of the things. I think it's lots of fun. That's what I love about it.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Now, where can we see you in the next little while? What are some of your close shows that if we wanted to come and see you, we could?
All right. Well, when it comes to performing, I guess mostly I'll be announcing for the next few weeks or judging at professional bull rider stops.
Yes.
But the next major performing, I've got the Monogrilby Camp Oven sort of muster, which is, I believe it's about the third weekend in April. And so it'll be the week before Anzac Day week, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I will be doing, and that's sort of out between a little place called Geelong and Mundubra. And in the same region is the historic Boondooma Homestead, which Anzac Day week I'm actually doing a guest spot there because I'll tentatively have a booking to be a major artist there next year in 2025. So I'll actually be singing a special song, a remake of an old Eric Bogle song, No Man's Land, that Slim Dusty recorded a long time ago. And I'll do a version of that during the Anzac Day service. And then I'll sing a few other songs in the special portion that they're giving me a slot for the presentation this year. So that's basically leading into the Anzac Day weekend because I think Anzac Day is on a Thursday this year.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's on a Thursday.
There you go.
Right.
Memory hasn't faded me yet.
Doing very. I would not have remembered that without you reminding me. With that prompt, I would not have remembered. I know I always tell people 20 minutes and we always go crazy and I talk lots, which I'm really good at, except for at the moment. But before we go again, just have a look here. You can see all of the socials, all of the music platforms that you can see Larry. And if you want to have a look at this slide here, we have the link to his pre-save order for Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, all the YouTube, Amazon, Deezer, all the different ones. So whatever platform you are on, jump over and pre-save the song because I know it's going to be a lovely song. So go and enjoy it, everybody. 22nd of March, everything's going to change for you, isn't it? Oh, the world will go crazy. Lots of
definitely.
new music coming. My favorite. My favorite.
Yeah, no, it's a very special song, and I guess like I said, the imagery, you can literally close your eyes and picture it, and that's what makes it so pretty. And we added some lovely sort of folk style guitar licks on the acoustic with it, and then some lonesome fiddle licks on there as well, and it really complemented the song and the style in which I sang it. And for those oldies that listen and catch this particular feed, then they can probably do a classic Pride of Erin to that song.
Wow, that is beautiful. I cannot wait to hear it, especially not on mainstream radio. I can't wait for that to come on. Hopefully while I'm doing my grocery shopping so I can enjoy it as I go down the aisles. That'd be wonderful. Thank you again for coming and chatting. We always love having you on the show. I'd love to book you again for your next single if you've got time. And any of your shows. If you have any tours, let us know. We can pop them in the links for everyone to keep an eye on as well. Any new music, anything.
Sounds fantastic. I really appreciate your time and all the support of Country Kickback.
Anytime. We love having you. We can't wait. Just before we go, I think a comment just come through. What has he said? I cannot see. On Saturday when I see from the wildlife meet and my brother is going to Country Kickback. Oh, really? You'll be wearing the Country Kickback hats. I cannot wait to see that. Make sure you pop some photos up there for us. If you would like them on the page, we can do that too. That's one thing we didn't touch on a lot, Larry. Well, when people come and see you, can they do merch? What do you have?
Yeah, I've got some Rodeo Ready and Rodeo Road caps that are available. I do have some older stock of some string tank tops for the ladies from an original tour that I still have some leftovers of those. So they're heavily discounted, and still have obviously hard copy CDs. So of the original album Rodeo Road, which was first released back in 2009, and then I had the 6-track EP Rodeo Ready that came out in 2013. And then the recent album 2021 released The Road, Family and Home. But obviously Tamworth Gold, Only a Cowgirl, they're just singles, so they're only available on the digital download sites at the moment. But there is an idea that possibly in maybe the next 18 months I'll do a collection of just the favorite songs. Now that I'm steering a little bit more away from the direct rodeo type songs, it's a bit of everything these days. And so I've been very, very fortunate to put pen to paper and write with some great writers, and that's helped me sort of guide me in a different direction as well. And I've always been able to put my 2 cents worth in, but to be able to put it into rhyme and reason, then it's just been a really great creative part of wakening up that side of me.
100%. It's so good for you, isn't it? That you get so much out of it that we don't even realize how much you get out of songwriting and song planning and that sort of thing.
That's for sure.
We're so lucky. Well, thank you so much for everyone. I'm so excited that we're back for 2024. It's been a long few weeks. Bear with me. We've got lots of shows that we've had to reschedule, so there'll be lots popping up on the screen really soon. And we will see you all again next week. Thank you so much, Larry. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you soon.